What's up, guys? Dr. Matt Westheimer here, and welcome back for part two. And let's recap a little bit what we went over last time in part one, and that is, how do you know when you're healthy and how do you know when you're sick? And I know by the end, some of you, hopefully most of you, if you were paying attention, were a bit confused. Wait, how do I know when I'm healthy now? If I can't base it on symptoms, then what do I need to base it on? What you need to base it on is optimum cell function, when your body is functioning optimally. And I want to give you an example to kind of bring this together. When I was living in Singapore, its nickname was the concrete jungle because there are just buildings and concrete everywhere. There's some nature, but not as much as we would have loved to have. So when we moved into our apartment there, one of the ideas that I had was I'm going to fill up the entire balcony with plants. So it's just a wall of plants when we look out the window. So I went across the street. We had this really cool nursery. And I went over there and I said, I need plants for this space. And here's what I'm looking for. I want something that is unkillable because I am a master of killing plants in a very short period of time. So I said, I don't even care exactly what it looks like. As long as it's going to be hardy and it's going to stay alive, that's what I care about most. So he says, okay, I have the perfect plant for you. This plant, it looks nice, but more importantly, it's very hard to screw up. As long as you take care of it, it's very, very hard to screw up. So I said, great, I'm in. So I got those plants, I took them home, I set it up, I watered them, and for a while they looked fantastic. And I would water it on a regular basis. But what happened was about 3 weeks went by, and I noticed that I could see through the plants more than when I first got them. There wasn't as much of a wall there. And then a couple weeks later, like the leaves are starting to sag and it's losing leaves. And so I went back over to the nursery across the street and I said to them, I said, you know, I don't understand. I bought these plants from you. I'm taking care of it. I'm watering it. You know, it's getting sunlight. I don't understand why it's dying. And so the guy started asking me questions. And so he says, okay, how often are you watering them? And I said, well, like all the other plants that I have inside, I water them, once a week. And he said, that's probably the problem. I said, what do you mean? He goes, well, certain plants do great watering once a week. These plants, they need water at least every day or every other day at the very least. So chances are you're not watering it enough. And so even though I thought I was doing the right thing, I was not giving the plant what it needed. So I asked him, I said, do I need to get new ones? Are they going to be dead? Or do you think that I can make them come back to life? And he said, you should be, they're very resilient. They should be able to recover. So if you just give it enough water, maybe give it a little bit of fertilizer, then you just need to give it some time. And I said, wait, they're not going to come back to life overnight? Think about it with your health, where most people come in with a health issue and they expect to get better overnight. And so I was joking. I'm like, wait, it's not going to be better tomorrow? He goes, no, unfortunately, it's probably going to be 3 to 4 weeks of watering it every day before you start to notice a change. But then from that point on, little by little, you'll notice the leaves will start to fill out more and it'll start to grow. And then you just need to make sure that you take care of it. And that was a major eye-opening thing for me when it comes to health and how as human beings we need to be taking care of ourselves. Because what happens is as human beings, we don't take care of ourselves for years. We let our bodies break down very early from childhood. We're eating garbage. We're sitting in front of screens. We're not moving the right way. We're stressed out. Our structure becomes all distorted and collapsed. And because we're young and we're resilient, we don't feel it yet. But when that goes on for 10, 20, 30 years, then we start to develop symptoms. And because the symptoms just showed up, we think that's when the problem showed up. But there's always a delay. Just like I didn't go one day without watering the plant and all of a sudden it died. But it took 3, 4 weeks for it. And so I needed to give it time in order for it to regenerate and restore and grow again. And so as human beings, we need to take that exact same approach. So rather than when we have a symptom, we don't go in and say, hey, how do I cover up this symptom? Like I didn't go in and ask the guy, hey, can I just spray some green paint on it And will that take care of it and make it look nice? No, that would be silly because it's going to continue to fall apart. But that's exactly what we do when it comes to our health, is we have a symptom or we have a health issue and we look for how do we cover the symptom? How do we put green paint over the problem rather than looking at getting to the root cause of the problem and asking ourselves, remember, the quality of your life is determined by the quality of the questions that you ask. So you need to ask yourself, not how do I get rid of this symptom, but what is my body missing? What does it need that it's not getting that is going to allow it to work properly and restore itself to optimal health? And when we look at plants, there's certain things that plants need. They need water, they need sunlight, they need nutrients in the soil, they need carbon dioxide that they then convert to oxygen for us. And so those are the things that a plant needs. So what are things that a human being needs? And we break it down into 4 main things. And if you're taking notes, this is where you want to write this down. The 4 things that human beings need to thrive is optimum nutrition, optimal movement, and that includes a combination of rest and sleep and working out, so all 3 of those things. We need an optimum mindset. We can't be stressed out all the time. And then the last one, number 4, is my favorite, and you'll see why in a second, which is optimal nerve function. Because your nerve system, your brain, spinal cord, and nerves is the master control system of the body that runs, regulates, and controls every single cell, tissue, and organ of the body. It is the central line that runs everything. It is the circuit breaker and the electrical wires of your home. It is the central processing unit of your car. It is the processing unit of your phone or your computer that's allowing you to watch and do this. If there's any interference to your nerve system, it's impossible for your body to work properly. And so we need to understand how and what do we do to optimize that. So coming up tomorrow and in future episodes, we're going to break down each one of those 4 things and give you exactly what you need to thrive and get the results that you're looking for. We'll see you next time.